And I can give you a number of instances where we've seen this happen. I was doing a class up in Rhode Island a few years ago, 5th graders. And they were interested in the movement, and their teacher was giving them a lot of information. They said, well, I went and started working with them because they were excited about the movement and civil rights. Mostly white, a couple of minority students. But these were young white students, okay, public school, but in an area where there was some affluence, you know. So they said they wanted to come to Montgomery, Alabama and see where Rosa Parks was arrested. I told them that they couldn't do that because it was too expensive. They said, well, how much does it cost? About 25 of them. I'd say about $10,000. You got to fly, and then you got to catch a plane, and you got to eat and have a place to stay, and, you know. So he's going just to Montgomery. You need to go see some other places, you know, Tuskegee, you know, the thing. And they raised the $10,000 in about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So I said, well, I forgot to tell you that each of you will have to take one of your parents. I wasn't about to take 25 children, though. You know. I mean, my grandmother did, they taught me something, you know. So and they turned around and then raised the other $10,000.
Gee, they were determined, huh?
Right, yes, they were determined. And they came down here. You might remember when a group of them came down on the bus. Right. So now what we discovered, to my amazement, because I was teaching them nonviolence and teaching them how to, you know, build community. They were interested in the movement, so I took that opportunity to give them the philosophy as well, some of the skills for building community, nonviolent, beloved community. They had a young lady in that class who, and a young fellow, at least 2 of them that we were able to recognize, who they had ostracized. Okay, the fellow was tall and awkward walking and that kind of thing. He's the tallest one in the class, but he never got invited to come and play basketball with them. He was closer to the basket than any of those 5th graders, you know. They're like 10, 11 years old, you know. But he never get called on. But when we got on this project, they put up a website. And who do you think put up the website? Will. Will put up the website.
All right.
And the teacher thanked his parents, you know. But they said, we didn't help him. We went in and asked him if he needed help. Will had it done already. So everybody was going to Will to get things on the website. So they discovered that he had a resource there and a talent that they needed. And so you see, that's one of the things that people don't discover when they ostracize folk.
Absolutely.
They don't realize that they are losing.
Absolutely.
Okay? So when people do that, they actually victimize themselves because they deprive themselves, you know, of a relationship. Okay? And maybe if Will didn't have that kind of talent, maybe it was just to be a friend and to say something nice to you when you had a bad day. You know what I'm talking about? To know he is there with you. Okay? Maybe he couldn't play basketball, I don't know, but that's not important. There are other things that we have to help people discover about themselves. And so that's what a community is. A community is a place where individuals can be individuals, but they are part of a family. And they can share, they can grow. And one definition of a community is a community is defined by the fact that it empties its own garbage, whether it's psychological garbage, you know, whether it's physical garbage, you know, trash.
That's a good description.
That when you could do that together, you know what I mean? But anyway, so that's one of the things I'm doing, is helping to create those communities so people can get the best out of each other. And when people feel needed, they don't get ostracized. And so the group needs the person, and the person needs the group. So what do you think when they do when they drop out? They drop right into another community. Use this a group of fellows, a gang, you can call them whatever you want, but they band together and they provide an alternative social group.
Absolutely.
Which sometimes become an anti-social group.
I used to pass by them every morning going to school, standing on the corner by Charlie Evans' store in Sumter County, Alabama, and I wanted so bad to hang there because to me in my head as a young man, that was the most popular thing going on. But my grandmama and my aunt who raised me, who taught at the school, threatened my life, so I had to go on to school every day.
Yes.
So I understand exactly what you mean. Let's shift gears here for a second. Now, there's a beautiful woman in this town. Her name is Amelia Boynton Robinson. When she talks about you, she talks about a man of integrity, guts, audacity, and all of those other things that helped to convince Dr. King and Andrew Young and all of those people who were speculating that Selma really wasn't the place to go because all you could get done is kill over there and you could not get an impetus there to go out to impact the world. She gives you credit for saying, well then I choose Selma. Tell me about this lady. What does she mean to you now? What did she mean to you in 1960s when you guys were going into Selma, had no hotels to go to, but she made, I'm going to call it a safe haven for you guys to work. Tell me what you can tell me about Mrs. Amelia Boynton Robinson.
Well, prelude to that was that those of us who were involved in the sit-in movement, I was in Nashville, and there were people in other places like Greensboro, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Atlanta, mostly places where you had black colleges, predominantly black colleges. You had predominantly black students there, and those places.